Good morning. I wanted to do a clearing for the collective. The collective being the group of people who are going to see this video and accept the healing that it's going to provide for you. So with everything that's going on around us, I wanted to do this clearing around what's been going on throughout the state of Maryland, DC, Virginia, that DMV area. There's a lot of heaviness when it comes to the recent events in the last month or so. There's a lot of grief and sadness and anger going on about the current state of the federal jobs that are going on, feeling safe in our positions within our jobs, within our stability is being challenged. Our belief systems in what we think is right or what we think is wrong is being challenged. And of course, the grief and the sadness that we're feeling over the loss of so many people from the flight out of Reagan. I know quite a number of people who were affected by the loss of those souls that are no longer with us. And so I wanted to come on and do just a clearing, just to help with the emotional heaviness, with the questions about where we are going. Are we going to continue to be able to be stable within our lives and feel safe in just living, because when our livelihoods are being threatened, we don't feel safe. And this is not a political post, so please do not make this a political post. This is to help those who are just feeling they're just feeling sad and angry, and they're just wondering what if, and they're just going crazy over it. They just don't know what to do. And so I just wanted to bring this in to try to bring some peace and calmness to their energy. And so the first thing I'm going to check is the light score of the collective. And the light score is it's a measure, a spiritual measure of how aligned a person, place, object, or a group of people is with the high vibrational energy of love and compassion. This is assessed on a score between 1 and 100, so like a percentage. And the higher the score, the more pure and in alignment with positive energy the group is. And so I'm first going to check the light score of the collective. Am I in tune with the collective? Yes. And what is the light score of the collective out of 100? 17%. So it's really, really low. So we're going to bring that up first. And so I'm just going to pull up my sheets. And I'm also going to check the divine path score, and the divine path score is 36. And this is the divine path score is a blueprint, or the soul's blueprint in the design of the individual's divine plan. So this is the design, the blueprint of the collective. So it's at 36, and we want that to be at 100. Okay, so first I'm going to bring up the light score. And this is going to clear offensive energies or entity attachments. So there's a dark entity curse. And a dark entity curse is a deliberate and malicious attack from a dark entity or evil spirit, whereby the negative energy is intentionally placed. Actually, can I just bring up the light score? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up the light score of the collective. Clearing all offensive energies, all negative energies that are bringing the light score, that are blocking the love and compassion from the collective, either feeling it or emitting it. Okay, so light score of the collective at 100, yes. Okay, so now we're going to just start clearing around this intention, clearing grief and sadness and anger around the current events around Maryland, DC, and Virginia. This clearing will help anyone and everyone who has watched the news, social media feed, or heard about the downsizing of our government, the change in routine, and the loss felt by the plane crash. Okay, so there's a gaslighting energy. So can we clear that? No. Is there something attached to it? Yes. What is attached to this gaslighting energy? An anti-positive core belief. So this is a belief that is inherently, that's supposed to be positive, but there's some negative stuff underneath of it. So what is the positive belief that is not completely positive? We can be trusted. Okay, so we as a collective feel like we can be trusted, but there is some negative stuff underneath of it. So what needs to be addressed to clear the negative stuff around I can be trusted? There's some trapped emotions. And how many trapped emotions are there? Can we clear there's over 100, over 200, over 150, over 160, over 155, 157 trapped emotions within the collective. Okay, and can we clear those? Yeah, so we're just going to clear those 157 trapped emotions as one big energy ball. $157 trapped emotions cleared. Beautiful. Yes. What else needs to be addressed to clear I can be trusted, or we can be trusted as a collective? There's a fear. And is this an individual fear? No, it's a compound fear. What is the compound fear? Fear of change. Makes sense. As a collective, we have this fear of change. Okay, so a fear of a compound emotion around the fear of change. A compound emotion, a compound fear is just a group of fears that make up one fear. And so this fear of change includes the fear of uncertainty, the fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of rejection, and fear of inadequacy. And so what needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? And to be clear, we're not actually clearing this fear of change. That has to be done on the conscious level. What we're doing is clearing the vibrational frequency, or those energies that are associated with this fear of change. So we're clearing out those burrs, those energy balls, so that it gives our conscious mind as a collective to be able to accept the changes that are coming and know that we don't have much control over these changes, but we can figure out how to respond and adjust to them without all of this heavy negative energy kind of hanging on to us. All right, so what needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? There's a negative core belief underneath of it, and what is it? I am plain and dull. So maybe it's like I'm not exciting. Not exciting. I'm plain and dull. And so can we clear that? Yeah, so we're going to clear I am plain and dull. And what this has to do with the fear of change, it might be that, you know, I'm kind of stuck in my ways. I'm just kind of, I'm just going to kind of just go, you know, just be stuck in my ways and not want to change, not want to be open-minded. And that's just how it's coming across, as I'm plain and dull. What else needs to be addressed to clear? Is that I'm plain and dull cleared? Yeah. What else needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? Okay, so there's another trapped emotion. What is the trapped emotion? So this is just, it's an I am emotion. So it's the collective is I am feeling this way, or I am angry, I am sad, I am grieving. What is this emotion? What does that mean? Reproved. Let's see. Oops. I'm using charts off my computer, which is why you see my eyes darting around from one side to the other. And I'm just trying to see, this is not helping me. And so I'm just bouncing from charts to charts. So it's feeling, so feeling disapproval, reproved. Reproved, feeling reproved. Removed, disappointed, is what I think all of that means. Okay, so can we clear this? Yes, so we're clearing that reproved, feeling disappointed. And why it doesn't bring up disappointed, that might not be on my list. So it came up with that reproved, which is on my list. I have a list of over 100 different emotions. All right, so what else needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? There is an emotional gap, and I see these emotional gaps as these valleys, and so there is helplessness. So there is this valley that is filled with all of this helplessness. And so what I want to do is I want to clear that helplessness, to kind of close that gap. Okay, so what needs to be addressed to clear this valley of helplessness, to close this gap of helplessness? Okay, so do we just need to clear helplessness from the collective? Okay, so we're just going to clear, cleanse, and release all that emotion, all those emotions of helplessness from the collective. And I just want you to, if you're watching, just place your hand on your heart. And I want you to imagine that you're doing a Care Bear stare. And this Care Bear stare is going to all of those who are feeling angry and sadness and loss. And you're just going to do this Care Bear stare to them, just emitting unconditional love from the center of your chest. And this is going to help to clear out that helplessness that you and the whole collective is feeling. When we lead with love, when we lead with kindness, when we lead with compassion, we get so much further than when we lead with fear or contempt or anger. And right now there is a lot of fear and contempt and anger going on in our world. That helplessness gap closed. Yes, we closed the gap. Yay! We closed that helplessness gap. What else needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? All right, so there's a lesson for us to learn, of course. There's always a lesson. What is the lesson? Cherish the people that you love. Cherish, we can be sad for those who have lost. We can be sad for those who are lost. But it's important to cherish the people that we hold close to us. Don't take that for advantage. Don't take advantage of the fact that you have loving, caring people right next to you. And if you can't see them as being loving and caring souls, look harder. Look deep within yourself to find those aspects of them that are loving and caring and kind. Because most people are kind. Most people are compassionate. But we feel a lot of what other people are feeling. And so oftentimes what comes out of us is not even our energy. It might be somebody else's energy. All right, so cherish the people that you love. What else needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? Oh, there's another anti-positive belief. And what is it? Oh, it's not even there. What is the anti-positive belief? Let's see if it's here. God loves and supports me on my journey. So that is one thing that we are just not feeling. Again, that can come from a place of fear of why would God let this stuff happen if he loves us all? Because God is not really in control of our path, because we do have free will. We do have, choices. There are choices that we can make and to determine which path that we are taking. But when these things happen, we have to blame somebody, and oftentimes we blame those higher than us. You know, when something happens to us as a kid, sometimes we blame our parents. Sometimes when things happen as an adult, we blame our boss or coworkers or friends or family. And when big catastrophic things happen like this, we tend to blame God and ask God why. But he doesn't always have the answers for that. So what needs to be addressed to clear this? God loves and supports me on my journey. What needs to be addressed to clear this? Can we clear this to a positive belief? We can clear it all of the negative. Yeah. So what needs to be addressed to clear the negative around this belief? Belief code. Okay. So what kind of a belief system is this? So this is a partial belief system. And so we just have, let's see, we just have a faulty core belief. So what is the faulty core belief around this belief system? Power under change. I need to resist change. So, which can make things very uncomfortable when we're resisting that change, when we're fighting against our belief systems. It can make things feel very, very hard to deal with. So what needs to be addressed to clear? I need to resist change. Can we shift this? What do we need to address to shift it? So I'm getting that we can't clear it, but we can shift it. So what needs to be addressed to shift this? So there is a bond, there's a trauma bond to this belief. And what is it? Betrayal. So there's a trauma bond of betrayal. Okay, do we need to know more about this trauma bond of betrayal? No. Can we clear the energies around it? Yeah, so we're just going to clear those energies around that trauma bond of betrayal. Trauma bond of betrayal cleared. Yes. All right, what else needs to be addressed to clear this? I need to resist change, or shift. Sorry, shift this. I need to resist change. Nothing. Okay, beautiful. What else needs to be addressed around this belief of God loves and supports me on my journey? There's a resistance. And what is the resistance? Resistance to moving forward. Okay, what needs to be addressed? Can we clear this resistance? We can. So let's what needs to be addressed to clear this resistance to moving forward? It's just clearing. So what this will do is it will help you to maybe see a different perspective as to what's going on. Maybe be able to step back and go, you know what, I'm going to kind of see where this goes. Pray that it all works out in the end. But I'm going to have to set my beliefs aside to see where this goes, because it's not doing your body, your mind, your spirit. It's not doing anything healthy for you to be so wrapped up in these emotions of anger, grief, and in loss around what's going on in the area. So if you can, even for a few minutes a day, just step back and just to let yourself be in the moment and not worry too much about the what ifs, because you can't control the what ifs. And hopefully clearing this will allow you to be able to not focus so much on the what ifs, but focus on the what is. Okay. All right. So what else needs to be addressed around this? God loves and supports me on my journey. Nothing. What else needs to be addressed to clear this fear of change? Nothing. Is that cleared? No, that fear of change is not cleared. But there are some stuff around it that will hopefully give you some relief around the changes coming up. There may be some, there may be some like individual clearings that can be done. If that is something that you're interested in doing, we can absolutely do that. What else needs to be cleared around I can be trusted, or we can be trusted? Nothing. And I'm getting that this is we can be trusted with love and compassion. We can be trusted with putting out love and compassion and not holding on to the hate, not holding on to the sadness, and not holding on to the grief. So with that being said, we're going to close out this session. And what is the light score of the collective now out of 100? So light score came up to 100%. And so hopefully it'll stay there for a while. But in order for that to happen, you need to lead with love. You need to lead with compassion. And when you are sitting at home, turn off the news. Watch what you're seeing on social media. And just throw all of the love, compassion, and empathy that you can out into the world. Lead with kindness. Lead with love.